There's a liquid in your kitchen that costs less than $1. It kills every species of household mold on contact, not for a few days permanently. The black mold behind your shower tiles gone. The orange fungus spreading across your bathroom grout. The green growth returning every winter on your window seals never comes back. For 3,000 years, this was the only mold solution anyone needed. Then a $40 billion cleaning industry buried it. They did not bury it because it failed. They buried it because it worked too well. A solution that costs under $1 and uses things you already own cannot be packaged into a $12 branded spray bottle. And what cannot be sold cannot be allowed to stay in public knowledge. This is the story of the liquid cleaning corporations prayed you would never find. Welcome to Professor Hassan's lab. If this kind of buried knowledge matters to you, hit subscribe the bell. This is where we dig up what the industry tried to keep hidden forever. The story does not start in a laboratory or chemistry department. It starts 3,000 years ago in an Egyptian city, watching its food supply disappear, and its people face starvation. The royal grain stores had been contaminated by a spreading black fungal growth. It pushed through the limestone walls of the city's central granary overnight. Thousands of tons of grain were condemned, and the city faced starvation. The priests burned cedar smoke through the contaminated chambers. They packed the walls in salt imported from the coast. Nothing worked. The fungus consumed everything it touched. Then a grainkeeper named Nefertitari did something no priest had tried. She combined fermented vinegar liquid from her household clay vessels with powdered mineral salts from the dried Nile Delta floor. She poured the mixture across every contaminated surface in the granary. 3 days later, the priests found the mold structurally gone, cell walls dissolved. This formula was recorded in the Ebers Papyrus, one of the oldest surviving medical and household management texts ever recovered by archaeologists. The scribes called it a treatment for surfaces consumed by the dark breath. The Egyptians had no word for acetic acid or sodium bicarbonate, but the substances they described are exactly vinegar and baking soda, working 3,000 years ago exactly as they work today. Move forward to 1786 in the German town of Lung and Salsa. A chemist named Johann Christian Wiegleb was cataloging practical household chemistry for over a decade. He was methodical and skeptical. He distrusted folklore until he could reproduce results himself. What he found across the German countryside frustrated him completely. Houses where residents used vinegar for cleaning showed almost no fungal growth on walls, even in the cold, damp winters that drove mold through every unprotected cellar. Houses 20 mentors away with identical architecture were covered in mold. Wiegleb ran controlled comparisons across 14 households over 2 full winters. The results were unambiguous every single time. Vinegar prevented mold growth completely. He published his findings in a household chemistry treatise in 1787. His conclusion was direct. Acetic acid creates a surface environment. Fungal organisms cannot survive. By the mid-1800s, European hospitals used vinegar washes as standard surface sanitation, not because any company promoted it, because everyone could see it working. Then, 1907 arrived, and everything free and centuries old became a problem. The German chemical company, BASF, launched its first synthetic bleach household product in Europe. It was positioned not as an alternative to vinegar, but as a modern replacement. Scientific, powerful, industrial strength. The marketing was extraordinary for its era. Within 15 years, synthetic bleach compounds flooded markets across Europe and North America. Within 30 years, the entire household cleaning industry restructured around synthetic active ingredients. White vinegar was reclassified in consumer culture from a cleaning agent to a food product. Baking soda was repositioned from a surface treatment to a baking ingredient. 2 substances that cleaned surfaces for 3,000 years were quietly removed from the category, not because they stopped working, because new products needed the shelf space and the profit margin that came with it. Now, here's what you need to understand, because the science here is impossible to ignore. Mold is not a plant. It is not a bacteria. It is a fungus. Fungi survive by maintaining a tightly controlled pH balance inside their cell membranes. Shift that pH beyond a narrow range, and the membrane structurally dissolves. The organism does not retreat, does not go dormant. It ceases to exist. Acetic acid in white distilled vinegar penetrates the mold cell wall on direct contact. Once inside, it drives the cellular pH down to a level the fungus cannot survive. A 2015 study in the International Journal of Food Microbiology confirmed this. Researchers tested acetic acid against 11 common household mold strains, including Aspergillus niger and Stachybotrys chartarum, known as black mold. Against all 11 strains, 5% acetic acid achieved complete cellular destruction in 48 hours. 5% acetic acid is the exact concentration found in standard white distilled vinegar. The bottle in your pantry right now for under 80 cents per liter. Now add baking soda. This is where the chemistry becomes permanent instead of temporary. Baking soda applied to porous surfaces raises the surface pH to between 8 and 9. Mold spores require a surface pH between 4 and 7 to germinate and grow. Above pH 8, spores cannot activate. They cannot root. They cannot spread at all. A 2017 University of Florida study confirmed this mechanism directly in lab conditions. Researchers contaminated bathroom tile and grout samples with concentrated Cladosporum and Aspergillus spores. After a single baking soda treatment, no new mold colonies formed over 90 days. 90 days of zero regrowth from a substance costing less than 30 cents per box. Now compare that to the 12 other $25 bottles at the hardware store. Commercial mold remover uses sodium hypochlorite bleach to kill surface mold on contact. But bleach cannot penetrate porous materials deeper than 0.5 millimeter. Mold hay reach 3 to 5 millimeter deep into grout and silicone caulking. You kill what you see on the surface. The root network survives underground. The mold colony rebuilds completely within 3 to 6 weeks. You buy another bottle. That is not a cleaning product. That is a subscription you never agreed to sign. I want to be direct with you, because this vault operates on honesty. This protocol works on surface mold, bathrooms, kitchens, window seals, tent fabric, canvas. If mold is pushing through drywall from inside a wall cavity, call a professional. For every mold problem you can see and touch, stay with me. I have compiled everything referenced in this video into the complete shadow camping vault. Mold protocols, outdoor gear maintenance, off-grid preservation, and survival techniques. The part they really buried is coming next. So, why does no hardware store point you toward the vinegar and baking soda aisle? The global household cleaning products industry generates over $40 billion per year. The mold removal segment alone accounts for approximately $3 billion annually. $3 billion built entirely on a problem a $1 solution eliminates permanently. Here is the structure you were never supposed to understand. You cannot patent white distilled vinegar. Acetic acid fermentation has been public domain for 10,000 years. You cannot patent baking soda. Sodium bicarbonate has been generic since 1846. You cannot create a proprietary mold spray formula the customer must repurchase every month. You cannot build recurring revenue from a vinegar bottle that costs 80 cents and lasts 6 months. The business model of commercial mold removal depends entirely on the mold coming back. Bleach kills what it touches on the surface of bathroom grout and silicone caulking. But mold hay reach 3 to 5 millimeter deep into porous grout material. Bleach penetrates at best 0.5 millimeter into any porous surface. You eliminate the visible mold colony on the surface. The root network survives underneath. The mold colony fully rebuilds within 3 to 6 weeks after every bleach treatment. You buy another bottle. That cycle repeated across millions of households generates $3 billion. Vinegar and baking soda break that cycle permanently after a single correct application. That is the problem the cleaning industry cannot afford for you to solve yourself. In 1994, the EPA published guidance recommending bleach products as the household mold standard. This guidance was developed in consultation with the Soap and Detergent Association trade group. That same trade group was funded by the manufacturers of the bleach products being recommended. Dr. Philip Tierno of New York University's Langone Medical Center submitted a formal written objection. He cited peer-reviewed studies showing acetic acid outperformed bleach on penetration depth into grout. He showed vinegar produced longer-lasting antifungal surface conditions than sodium hypochlorite in every test. His objections were acknowledged, filed, and completely ignored by the EPA panel. The guidance was not changed. It has remained functionally unchanged for over 30 years. Those 30 years represent an estimated $90 billion in household cleaning product sales. In 2009, a paper in Applied and Environmental Microbiology made it undeniable. Researchers directly compared bleach spray against 5% acetic acid across 6 common bathroom mold species. Acetic acid outperformed commercial bleach on every single species, tested across every metric. Greater cellular destruction depth into grout, longer residual antifungal surface effect, 0 toxic fumes. The paper was published without retraction. The cleaning industry continued operating as if it never existed, because when you generate $3 billion a year from the problem, you do not share the solution. That is not a conspiracy theory. That is just economics operating exactly as designed. Your grandfather kept white vinegar under the kitchen sink. So did his father and his grandfather. Every farmhouse in 19th century Europe kept a barrel of it for cleaning cellar walls, not because they read journals, but because they watched the mold disappear and never come back. 4 multinational companies now control over 60% of the global household cleaning products market. Ensuring you forget what your grandparents knew is the most effective way to maintain that control. Now, here is what to do with everything you just learned. This is the practical part. Now, you need 2 things: white distilled vinegar at 5% acidity and baking soda. Not apple cider vinegar, not specialty cleaning vinegar, plain white distilled vinegar from the grocery store. You also need a spray bottle, a stiff bristle brush, and 20 minutes of your time. Step 1. Pour undiluted white vinegar directly into your spray bottle. Do not dilute it. The 5% acidity concentration is the working threshold. Diluting it below that reduces effectiveness significantly. Step 2. Spray every molded surface completely. Bathroom grout, silicone caulking, tile, rubber window seals. Do not wipe the vinegar off. Do not rinse the surface. Set a timer for 1 full hour. This waiting step is the one most people skip. It is the most critical step of the process. The acetic acid needs 1 full hour to penetrate the high-fall network living beneath the surface. Rushing past this step produces the same incomplete result as any bleach spray you already tried. After 1 full hour, sprinkle dry baking soda directly onto the still wet vinegar surface. You will see an immediate fizzing reaction on the bathroom grout and tile surface. That fizzing reaction drives the sodium bicarbonate deeper into the porous grout material as it settles. Let the fizzing fully settle. Then scrub with a stiff brush in tight circular motions. Work the baking soda paste deliberately into every grout line and silicone edge on the surface. Rinse with warm water. Dry the surface completely with a clean cloth afterward. For most bathroom mold, 1 single treatment is everything you will ever need to do. For grout neglected for over 2 years, repeat the same process on 3 consecutive days. Step 3 is the prevention layer. This is what the cleaning industry most wants, kept hidden. Dissolve 2 tablespoons of baking soda into 1 cup of warm water until completely clear. Spray this baking soda solution across every treated bathroom surface and let it air dry completely. Do not wipe it off. Do not rinse it. Let it form a dry, invisible residue. That dried residue maintains a surface pH above 8 on the bathroom tile, and grout mold spores landing on that surface cannot germinate, cannot activate, cannot grow at all. Reapply this prevention layer once every 3 to 4 months on bathroom and kitchen surfaces. A camper named David Hartman from British Columbia tried this on a tent stored 2 full years. The tent fabric had visible black mold patches spreading across 3 separate canvas panels. After 2 full treatments followed by the baking soda prevention layer, the canvas looked brand new. His words to us, "It looks like it has never been outside in its entire life." Total material cost for the complete tent treatment $120, 20 cents in vinegar and baking soda. The specialty outdoor gear mold removal spray at the camping store, $42 per bottle. Bleach-based requires repeat application every single camping season without exception. No subscription, no repeat purchase. No dependency on a problem that was always yours to solve. This knowledge did not disappear because it stopped working on bathroom mold or canvas or grout. It was repositioned, reclassified, quietly removed from the cleaning aisle it had occupied for 3,000 years. The Ebers Papyrus is still in the Leipzig University Library. The formula is still on the page. Wiegleb's household chemistry treatise is still in the archives. The hospital protocols are still documented. The 2015 microbiology study is still indexed. The University of Florida research is still cited. None of it was destroyed. It was simply never shown to you. We did not lose the $1 mold solution. We just stopped looking for it in the right place. But stopping is not the same as gone. And forgotten is not the same as erased. If this vault opened something for you, subscribe to Professor Hassan's lab and share this with one person. Every share puts this knowledge back in the hands of the people it always belonged to. The next vault opens soon, and what is inside is heavier than anything we have opened.